Welcome back to the channel, Saints fans. No fancy editing or anything today, so go ahead and apologize. You're not going to see a lot of the extras that you usually get here, but I will go ahead and say the first thing that I say every time we do this. If you enjoy film studies, type "Who dat" in the comment section below. Go ahead and throw a like. Today, we're going to take a look at the Saints offensive line. I'm going to kind of just go through it. I would call it kind of piecemeal. Like, I'm just going to run through it. I'm not going to make it anything fancy. We're just going to go play by play, explain why the New Orleans Saints offensive line looked much better, how they're playing better, and what exactly that means for New Orleans. Let's go ahead and rotate the tape on over. And this is really early on. I want to just let it roll, and then we'll explain what happens. You can see it right here. And here we go. So you're going to have James Hurst lose initially, but do some recovery, especially using the leverage of Andres Peat. I love Andres Peat as well, because Andres Peat is going to take a wide 9 technique, who's attacking his outside shoulder. Does a great job to attack half man, and then collapses the arm and then attacks the shoulder. Fantastic job by Andres Peat. I really cannot speak enough of how good Andres Peat has been at left tackle. It's been a huge surprise. I'm not saying that he's playing at like a Pro Bowl level or anything, but he certainly has returned to like his college form. This is what he did in school. He's doing a fantastic job here. Again, one more time. Half man, a little bit of hands in the face there, but it's all right. Collapse the arm. See how he shifts? He's got the arm tucked underneath. Collapse the arm. Now drive down the shoulder. Fantastic job. It's actually the first pass play of the game. On the other side, we still have really good play as well. We're going to take a look right here in the middle with Eric McCoy. Great job manning. He's playing that outside, and because this, love this. Look at Ruiz. What's he doing? Eyeballs. Why? Because we punish spinners. So if Montez Sweat wants to try to spin out of that, he's going to have Ruiz come and nail him. This is good fundamental offensive line play from the very base point. Technique-wise is good across the board. Hurst loses a little bit, but he's able to recover enough to drive up the arc. So you like to see that. Let's just go ahead and skip to the next one I want y'all to see right about here. And we're going to take a look at another play here, and this is going to be in the run game. And, man, Andres Peat is acting like he's 28 years old and healthy. It's weird. Hits the double team, then moves up to the second level. Fantastic job. And this play doesn't go as far as you want it to, if you actually want to talk about why the Saints' offensive struggles are what they are. Juwan Johnson not able to maintain here. It's a great job by Peat to give enough strength. Look at that. I want to show you the back angle of that. Peat is so strong, he basically throws into Hurst. The defender moves to get to the second level, and then you want to create this seal. Sadly, the seal on the backside never gets made because Juwan's not able to maintain his man. And then Ruiz's pull is fine, just not great. So ends up not really going anywhere. But once you see from this backside real quick, I really, really like what you're seeing from the starting five, what this current starting five is right there. Look at that power. That is what we call play strength, ladies and gentlemen. Attacking that outside shoulder, gives it completely to Hurst, making his job easier, moves to the second level. Hell, at this point, I know that you're running with a pulling guard and you're designed to go outside, but God, I kind of wish it went to Andres Peat's hole here. Just goodness, that's actually a very good play. And across the board, you are seeing this unit play as the best unit. I think this is the best unit you've seen so far this year. Andres Peat at left. James Hurst at left guard is not too much different than Max Garcia. Happy to have him there at guard. No real issues there. Then you have Eric McCoy at center. Cesar Ruiz, Ryan Ramczyk. All right, let's take a look at the next play because, again, I'm not doing any fancy editing. I'm just going to do all this myself in the middle of the video because why not? Next play here, we're going to look at a clear-out block by Williams, and I absolutely love this. I remember, I think, Brian Baldy talked about this. We're looking for this back angle. One thing about Jamal Williams, and Alvin Kamara had less than 50% of the snaps, and part of that was how Jamal Williams is contributing as a player in this regard. Great job filling. And then Eric McCoy getting to the second level, which is not as easy for a big lineman to hit a linebacker as that sounds. And then, of course, Taysom being what Taysom is, which is a fantastic playmaker. Love what Taysom can do on the field. So you go, going to follow our blockers, hit it up, and this is a great big gain and good blocking up front. And it's predicated around everybody doing their job well, but specifically loving the lead block by the running back here, who's essentially operating as a fullback. Then on your backside, you've got Ram and Peat both turn things out, and it all turns out to look and be good. All right, let's move on to another play because it hasn't all been perfect. Ryan Ramczak's going to miss one here. Oh, it's a little bit of an exchange. Isn't able to get to the linebacker, and it results in a loss. Well, right around a neutral game. Let's look across the line. So what the New Orleans Saints are doing here is they're zone blocking. They love to run outside zone. Remember, the whole point of outside zone is to create the bang, the bounce, and bend it back if you want that as an option. So at the point here, it looks like this is going to open up, except we just overextended a little bit too much here with Ram. And it's a great job, honestly, by the linebacker to duck underneath. Had it been not for that, this has the potential to go a long way because you've got blockers out in front. That's clear. You got Olave up front, and sadly, Ram just was not able to get underneath him and lost his gap there. That could have been a nice, good 5-6 yard gain. But in terms of what everybody's doing, I think everybody as a whole, the offensive line is getting better. I think it's a great job by Ruiz to turn and force back. Got McCoy reaching the second level, just trying to avoid a hold. But I can't show you just good plays. I got to show you negative plays as well. We don't do highlight tapes on this channel. It's just not what we're about. All right, so let's take a look at this one, though. This is a really good job defending the arcs, and I love Eric McCoy looking for work and helping out Hurst here. So when you end up being essentially uncovered here at center, even though he's got a guy in the A gap, that guy shooting the B gaps. Now, as he's our Ruiz's guy, and a couple techniques here. One, you see Eric McCoy using the drag arm technique, which just lets him feel the backside A gap as he's looking into the front side B gap here to help out James Hurst. Got a great job by Andres Peat again to defend the arc. And Ruiz, he does a good job. His play strength, that's a tough haul, but he does exactly what I want him to do, man. He opens up the throwing lane. Like, it's not so what I'm kind of saying is, like, it's not like super amazing. You're not seeing this and going, oh my God, look how strong he is. He pancaked the guy. But this is exactly what you want your guard to do. He opens up the throwing lane, does a fantastic job doing so. And there's the pass right there. Great pass by Derek Carr, right on the money as it should be, with good overall protection. And that's the key here. Like, if you want Derek Carr to start progressing through reads, yeah, he needs to do that. But he also needs a pocket to do that from. And this is exactly what you want. Throwing lanes are open for primary reads. Gets it to his guy right in the bucket. Fantastic play. We'll look at it from this back angle real quick so you can see it from here. So again, when it comes to defending the arc, I've talked about this before. The whole goal is you have got an area you want to defend, and it's a circle. So usually when people draw this as the pocket. The pocket actually extends almost like the shape of a football. There's a certain depth. You don't want your quarterback to go past because you want to run the arc. It's okay to let them run that arc as long as they're above the angle of what you're trying to go for. They do that there. Clean pocket. You see they never touch his back. So it looks like initially, hey, Andres Peat and even Ryan Ramczyk, maybe they're losing a little bit there, but that's exactly what you want to do to defend the arc. Let's move on to another play here in the game. I like this one. Great job all around. This is the touchdown play, and everybody deserves to get love here. One, that's an absolutely perfect throw by Derek Carr. Beautiful eye level away from the defender. The only person who can make this play happen is Chris Olave, who had a much better game today. He had one little drop, but overall great game. Let's rewind this and talk about everybody across the board, how they're doing in their set. So you got this wide technique from both Ram, and you've got the same thing on the opposite side of Peat here that you're going to worry about the arc, but you've also got sugaring the A gap. So from a defensive line perspective, you're giving a look that every gap has potential penetration. So we're there, and we're here. So that's the look that they're giving. How does Saints adjust to that? So what they're going to do is a split here. What I mean by a split protection, you're going to flow everybody down here. You're going to fill the say gap here, and then you're going to man up on this backside. So start, bam. You see immediately everybody knows and is in sync on what they need to do. This is so important because the Saints offensive line was not doing this earlier in the year. So this is really big for me. Eric McCoy knows he's going to that A gap. There is no drag arm. He knows exactly what his role is. Andres Peat has a drag arm just to make sure that this doesn't break inside to help out Hurst a little bit. And then you've got Ram awaiting Montez Sweat's wide rush, and then you've got the engagement by Ruiz at this pause point. Right here. Drag arm going away, starting to engage. Fantastic job by Alvin Kamara here. Just like we gave credit to Jamal Williams before, Alvin Kamara makes this play happen. You've got Hurst, who's losing a little bit with inside leverage. As you see that arm placement, he's kind of the high man on that center of gravity. You got a great wall created here. Defensive tackle tried to spin it into Ruiz. Ruiz was like, no, sir, that's not going to go anywhere. And you're going to have a drive here that's actually a decent drive by Montez Sweat, but because of the great initial positioning by Ramczyk, it's actually okay, as he's going to drop into his 45, set his anchor, and when you get there, you're going to anticipate some level of rush coming your way. He does, and if it isn't for the defender actually getting in the way of Ram, I don't think he gets pushed back as far as he does. His technique was actually really sound, and then he gets kind of hit, but great job by everybody else to get their jobs done. And play it one more time just because of how good of a rep this is. If you have blocking like this, you're going to see better plays by guys like Derek Carr. Now, one last thing I want to kind of point out right there. Eric McCoy doing what's called looking for work. His guy backed off, so let's go help out James Hurst. And then finally, last but not least, if you got a defensive end who wants to swing inside, let him. What does Anders Pete do? Drives him and opens the throwing lane. Look at it from this angle. Open the throwing lane. This is such an underrated part, y'all. I cannot stress how important this is for offensive line. It's not just about winning one-on-one and blocking. You want to open throwing lanes. What did they do? Opened both of the main throwing lanes. How do I know those are the main throwing lanes? Rewind it back to full screen, because your goal is either Michael Thomas here, which he ends up getting bracketed, or Chris Olave on the whip route. So these are the throwing lanes that need to be open, and the offensive line opens them. This is such a big improvement to what they were doing before. Look at the lanes. See, we're opening the lane. We've got this lane already open. By the time moves, right there. This is good offensive line play. Is it amazing? Is it perfect? No, I'm not saying that you're looking at a world of all-stars here, but holy crap, this is not what you were getting in the first couple weeks. And this is honestly one of the biggest differences in this offense's play. It still has room to improve, as you've seen a couple plays, but great job all around. And I absolutely love this rep. This is just a good job by the offensive line winning a nitty-gritty run. All right, next time, let's get back in here with Taysom Hill, because these plays are just fun. This is an outside zone sweep, and it's just a great job to block, and I love that we have an athletic set of offensive linemen that can do this. So let's look at everybody that gets their reach blocks and gets well. Eric McCoy needs to get love immediately. He gives up a little bit of ground, but the whole point is we want to get our hat on the other side of that man. That's exactly what he does. He's crossed. He's now taking him out the play. Now you got Ram leading up on a DB. That's not a matchup that favors the DB. Bam. Got it. And the only mess up, honestly, is a little bit of Ruiz, who's not able to maintain his man. But you trust Taysom Hill with momentum to break through at least one tackle. You just trust that. Now, one underrated technique here is maybe the eye that isn't necessarily used to it is going to say, well, Anders Pete loses here. Anders Pete has a reach block, but he's actually doing a great job here. He's butt blocking. Yes, this is actually a thing. If you are a backside blocker, especially in a zone block, and your guy, like you have nobody in the hole and your guy is behind you, butt block him. You're not holding. You're just in his way. You are 6'7", 330 pounds. Just keep that big bubbly butt in his way. Fantastic freaking job. I love it. I need to have a t-shirt that says we love big bubbly butts in New Orleans. It could mean several different things. Who knows? But we got to sell t-shirts so we can keep making film studies. So check out revenues.com. But anyway, great blocks all the way around. Love to see stuff like this. Now, let's talk about what this team was also really struggling with early on and how they've gotten better at it. The twist and the stunt game. This is something they used to really struggle at beginning of the season. We talked about this a lot, how that was a problem. So this is one that you almost kind of know twists and stunts are coming because they've left A and B gaps uncovered. There's just no way they're not breaking inside. So you kind of have to prepare for it mentally as an offensive lineman. So at the snap, here we go. There's that crash inside. You see Eric McCoy's already seen it, and I love this, man. The fact that this team is playing this well in terms of like they're communicating and they're understanding each other. You got Ruiz. He's still blocking, but he's spying. You got McCoy with the drag arm here, anticipating that incoming. Now watch it get swapped off. Bam. Perfect. James Hurst, exactly what I need you to do. James Hurst picks it up. Bam. Look at that. Ugh. That's how you pick up a stunt. And look, I get excited because that wasn't happening. This is not what you were seeing the first couple of weeks. You were seeing this turn into a sack, and it was annoying. It was like, oh my God. This is a clear look. Bam, look at the quick reactions. Great job by the tackles here. Love the long arm stab here for that inside right there by Ram. Good job by Pete to control the arc just enough and get the ball out, right? Now, is it the most amazing throw and play in the world? No, but we're talking about the offensive line doing something that you weren't seeing them do consistently. And if they can continue to grow and be better in this, then they're going to be better. And I wouldn't say that, yeah, this is a 2-7 Bears team. That's Montez Sweat on the edge. Their defensive line's not the Bears' problem. That's not the Bears' problem, in my opinion. But anyway, good play. We see them picking up that. Let's talk about one other thing that Saints fans have been wanting to come back for a long time. So, screenplay time. We're going to talk about some screens. They're sugaring the A-gap again. Let's talk about how they defend it. All right, so they bust back, come through. Hurst does enough to get his man in, and then we're just going to make people miss. Also, that scared the hell out of me with Michael Thomas right there, but it is what it is. So you want that swim through to happen. Pete's the only one that's supposed to stay back to maintain the end man on the line of scrimmage. We've talked about that term before, but if you ever, for whatever reason, emo loss, sometimes you'll have like writers who want to sound like smarter than they are knowledgeable, but they try to like hoard it over your head. If you ever see somebody write EMOLS, that means end man on line of scrimmage. So Pete is actually the only one supposed to stay back on this front side play to defend that guy because if that guy has a free release and he notices it, he's going to kick back. So you're going to release the center and the guard. Great block there by Hurst. McCoy doing a great job to get upfield. And then just a fantastic job all around to make a beautiful play happen. Now, if you care about what happens backside, just good overall defense. And Love Ruiz is trying to look for work. That big old man, you're not catching anybody, but I appreciate the effort. All right, one more we're going to take a look at before we wrap up what was definitely an improved offensive line game for this team. We've got a little motion screen here. I love this design. Again, we're keeping people out. We're moving Ruiz up, and you notice we changed a little bit here for Kendre Miller. So the motion is going to show a swing, and that is what we're going to pump fake first to hopefully draw the defense in that direction. So does it work? It does. Linebacker moves, so we got that one out the way. This one is a good job to stay safe. Now, again, we got Pete making his job known, and now we're pulling both guards. So we're going to keep the center in here because this one takes a little bit longer to develop. So your release point is a smidge later because you do want to sell that swing to the right. So your release point is just a smidge later. So bam, right there. Great job by Hurst to get out there and be ready. Fantastic job by McCoy to clear. Ruiz getting downfield. Screen game's back, baby. And again, this comes back to the offensive line simply playing good football. I know it's been a minute, but I'm not here to tell you that the offensive line is great yet. Like, I'm not here to just give them all the flowers and all the laurels. But what I am saying is that what you're seeing from this unit is a better overall performing unit. I wouldn't put them in the top 5 of the league. You're not seeing gross pancakes everywhere. There is still some pocket collapse and pressure that happens. And in blitz situations, there's still things that need to get better. But if you've been watching this team and you've been watching this channel for its film studies, you've definitely seen a stark improvement in how they've played. For whatever reason, Anders Peace, the best left tackle this team has had in 2 years, is what it is. Eric McCoy does a great job of assisting when James Hurst needs help, or even Cesar Ruiz. The ability to pick up twists and stunts has improved as a team. These are all things that are making this team perform better right now, and they certainly look better because they're on a win streak. 2 games, baby. I'll take it. I don't care if it's against a 2-7 team or a 7-2 team. You get who's on your schedule and you win those football games. Things aren't perfect, but they're at least moving in a proper direction. And while we can talk all day about Chris Olave doing better, he did. Derek Carr doing better, he did. What I think wins football games is still and will always be the trenches, offensive line and defensive line. That's where my heart, my passion, and my love is. So hopefully you enjoyed the heart, passion, love in this video. Who dat? God bless. Appreciate every single one of you. Deuces. See you on the next one.